There is a plethora of altcoins that are outperforming Bitcoin, and it's really important that you understand how critical this is. Bitcoin's up almost 100% from the bottom, right? And that's incredible. Doubling your money inside of fucking, what, 16 months? That's, man, like that's incredible. You're going to wait 10 years for those kind of returns in the S&P 500. Maybe 8 years, I don't know. You get my point. So it's a very powerful thing to understand, but there are altcoins that are outperforming it significantly. And I'm going to make a bunch of videos about all the different altcoins and what they are and why they're important and how they're outperforming Bitcoin. And my promise to you all is keep it under 10 minutes. So I'm going to breeze through some stuff to do that for you all. I respect the hell out of you short attention people. And if you want any long form information, I have a podcast where we release an episode every single week about this stuff for super long form if you're trying to learn more and more and more and really get into it. That is Crypto Classroom, Bleeding Edge Capital's Crypto Classroom on any platform. We're on 40 different sites. So with all of that, let's get to the juiciness. All right. So if you haven't heard of it, we have Injective, okay? INJ. And actually, before I go into what it is, let me just give you that sexy chart, baby. Boom! Look at that, guys. Look at this. Look at that. Just in the past year, 500%, guys. 500% from the bottom. I mentioned it probably right around here. I know I entered around $455, so I'm up about 300%. But still, this is insane. And the reason why it's happening, actually, I'm not going to speculate with you. I don't think that's fair. We can talk about why this is the case, but I want you to understand the asset because the number one rule that I preach on this channel and that I want you all to understand is that you have to understand your investment. Amongst anything else, you have to understand. So why is this so exciting and why has it attracted so much new capital? Well, first you need to understand it is a modular layer 1 that plug and plays, and it has smart contract functionality that allows auto executing smart contracts. And it is the first of its kind to allow that to happen. What that means is all points of reference for a smart contract to execute are going to be insulated inside of their smart contract platform. So there is a way for their smart contracts to execute without the need of price oracles and all these other things. So it's making the smart contracts more efficient. That doesn't mean they don't use oracles to supply the information on their chain, but their actual smart contracts do not need to be used by an oracle network. Then, basically, since it's on Cosmos, okay, and everything that is on the Cosmos SDK is interoperable, which makes Cosmos an amazing play. It's at a really good price as of today. It's still in that accumulation price zone. $7 is incredible for Atom right now. But in general, that means that their smart contracts can be deployed on Cosmos, Solana, or Ethereum, executed on any of the platforms, and supported by Injective. And Injective gets a slice of that pie everywhere. The number one thing that's exciting about these smart contracts is that it's going to allow crossplay for Web3 games. There's going to be auto-executing smart contracts that are going to be deployable and executable across multiple layer 1 blockchains, and they're going to increase the amount of blockchains that allow them to do this. And you might be thinking, well, how does that play into gaming? Well, a good way to do it would be a kill-death ratio or a scoreboard in Call of Duty. Okay, let's say that. And you have people with their avatars that are zoomed. I know it's futuristic, but let's just say your avatar is what you load into all the games you like to play. And you build your avatar regardless of like what you're playing. It's a really cool concept, but if your avatar was an NFT that was interoperable, that is totally possible. You could literally have your guy customized, drop him into a Call of Duty game. In that scenario, all the statistics for that game need to be able to move in between the chains when interacting with other avatars or characters in that way. So if you get a kill and that kill is just logged on Solana and you're in a lobby with other people that have avatars that were deployed on Ethereum or Avalanche, you get the picture. There would be no cross sharing of data for that game. So the developers would be limited in what they could build, where a auto executing smart contract that is interoperable, that is not a problem anymore. So this is going to be a very exciting fundamental foundation for game development in Web3, and it is probably one of the bigger players that are supplying these kinds of, well, they're first to market, and they also have a lot of backing and a lot of excitement. So new capital coming in, looking for alts, it makes sense that this is bullish news, and in general their team has absolutely crushed it. So I know that's kind of fast, and I'm talking fast here, but I really just want you guys to have your eyeball on Injective. I do think we're going to have a pullback. This kind of unprecedented. I mean, I'll go back to it. Look at this. Look at this chart here, guys. This is from October 11th to the 31st. So in 20 days, we pulled 100%, and then since the beginning of the year, we've been nowhere but up. And you can see we're not really making crazy new lows. See that? This is like the low here. You have this low, but I mean, it's slowly increasing. But you can see after this spike, there's going to be some capitulation, guys. This was a big run. $4 to $9, that's 100%. Same as 7 to 14. We could see a pullback. I think a pullback would make sense. This was going to be about a 35-40% pullback. That puts it right around $9. I'm definitely looking to accumulate more around $9 to $10. 14 is really high for recent price action, but in general, guys, on longer time horizons, it does not matter, okay? They could literally explode their market cap. They're at, what, 1.2 billion. They're in the top 50 coins, which is amazing, but there is a lot more room for growth, guys. If one big developer picks this up and starts using their smart contracts, it's going to be game over. So keep a lookout for Injective. Again, never financial advice. Thank you for tuning in, and pat yourself on the back for watching videos like this and improving your acumen. Thank you. I hope this was helpful. If you have any questions, reach out to me. And until next time, take care of one another. All right, guys. Peace and love. Cheers.